Well, hello. I hope you are enjoying these Slack ukulele lessons. I'm enjoying doing them, and Slack ukulele is a lot of fun. You know, the ukulele was once listed in the Guinness Book of Records as the easiest string instrument to learn to play. Don't know, maybe, but certainly Slack key has got to be easier yet. So it's a great way to get started. And we've gone through those first two lessons where you learn some extra chords. I'll review those chords real quickly for us. There's our open C, our F chord as a bar, our G chord as a bar, our D chord leads into the G like that. That's a bar. And then we did a C7 with one finger that leads to our F. So that's what we've been working on. And I want to say a couple things. I want to talk about practice very quickly. I recommend practicing a minimum 15 minutes a day. And you know what? If that's your maximum, that's fine too. So if you can slot out 15 minutes a day to work on your ukulele, you'll get some good results. It will happen to you and you'll be able to play and get comfortable. Most people, when I have told them practice 15 minutes a day, they come back after a while and they say, well, Charles, you tricked us because you said practice 15 minutes a day and now I'm practicing an hour a day. And my response to that is, I'm not really trying to trick anyone, though it doesn't surprise me because you get hooked on it. Um, and now you should be thrilled. And well, I've actually never met anyone that was complaining. They're happy because they're enjoying practicing. They start in and they do it, and next thing you know, an hour's gone by and they've had a good time. So practice can be fun too, especially when you're learning songs. So that's the first thing. Some of you are thinking, well, you're doing Amazing Grace and you do a lot of gospel songs, and I'm not a gospel song person. That's your choice. That's not an issue for me. But you can take everything you learn here and apply it to any kind of music you want. But I do gospel music. I'm a preacher and a pastor of a church, and that's what I do. And I grew up with it and I like it. I've chosen Amazing Grace because it's an easy song. It's a song most everybody's heard and can do, and it's a great song for developing your ability on. And then you can take and apply that. And if you're if you think, well, I'm more interested in folk music, you know, all those old gospel songs and the old folk songs use the same chords. So if you learn to use chords in a video like this, you can apply them to all that old folk music and have no problem playing it. uh, Even some Hawaiian songs, you know, I've played a couple, and maybe three, and same chords. So it can be done. In fact, I just did a video for what is it? Gospel Music Heritage Month is September, and I just did a video. He's coming soon, written to the tune of Aloha A, and that's a Hawaiian song, same chords. So not a hard thing to do. So what we want to learn, two new chords. We're going to learn a G7 and an A minor. So those are the chords we're going to use. The G7, where it goes and it kind of shifts. And we'll be working with that. And then the E minor will be on the word blind. And it sounds like that. So if we work on playing the G7, you take your first finger and put it on the second string, first fret, and your second finger can go on the third string, second fret, and then strum. You have your G7, and that we're going to use that. So you might practice before we get to the song. You could pause the video and practice going from your G chord, your G bar, to your G7. And yes, I just did that. You're welcome to. You can use whatever fingers you like. I use my third finger to bar the G, and I just push it down like that. I roll it sideways. Some people can't do that very comfortably, so that's why often I just let them do that. It makes for a quicker change for me. We're going to try to do the song slow, so it shouldn't matter. And then the E minor, I'm going to teach it with the kind of fingering that I use the most, so that if I do it that way, it won't mess you up. And I'll leave this finger alone, the index finger. And the only reason for that is it's easier later for changing to chords, switching to new chords. So take your third finger, the first string, the second fret, and put it there. And your second finger, the second fret, fourth string. Yes, you have to be able to count your fingers. And then strum, and you get your A minor. Finger one, finger two, finger three. We're not going to bother with finger four. And that is a thumb. So there we go. And we're going to do that. And you might practice that chord. And that's actually not going to be a difficult transition because you go from your open C to your A minor like that. So I will do the first verse, calling out the chords and talking my way through the song a little bit. So I realize I'm going to be singing and then stop and call out a chord name and do that, breaking the rhythm. I understand that. But it will be a helpful aid, and that will help you. And another thing that will help you is if you type out the words to the first verse, and you leave like or write them, whatever, and you leave a space, like you double space so there's a gap. Where I say the chord goes, you could write that in above that word in the song, and you'll have your own song sheet. That you can use. And I know somebody, well, couldn't you just email me one? Well, I don't use song sheets. So I'd have to write it out or type it up and prepare all that. And it's not really something I do anymore. And so I also think it would be a much better learning experience for you if you did it because you'd get a feel for where those chords go. So it will, in the long run, be much, much better for you in terms of learning to play the song. So here we go. Amazing grace, C7, how sweet, F, the sound, back to the C, that saved a wretch, that's your D chord, like me, there over to the G, and we're going to go to the G7, so I'll repeat that, like me, so I switch to the G7. I once on a C was lost, C7, but now F, I'm found, back to the C, was blind, that's the A minor, but now G7, I see, that's the C, open C. So that's how we're going to do the song. Now let me go through it kind of slowly. I'll put the chords up on the screen and hopefully get them in the right spot. But what I just did is very accurate. It's very helpful. If you write it that way, that's going to be ideal. And then if I remember, I'll do the second verse without anything. So, amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I once was lost, but now I'm found, was blind, but now I see. 'Twas grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear the hour I first believed. So you see how that works? You probably saw in there when we go from the E minor to the G7, the A minor to the G7 is what I meant to say. When we go to that, by using these fingers for the A minor, it makes it really easy to transition to the G7. That will also be easier because there'll be a lot of songs when you learn to play a regular first position F chord where you have to go from a F to an A minor. You could do that. So, and things like that. So, that's what we're working on. It should be a lot of fun. And I hope you can apply all those tools and enjoy the video. Lord bless you. We'll see you next time. Amen.